Hey guys, it's Mason from Carabed, and today we're going to be talking about composite and prime numbers. Before we start, you may want to review factors and multiples just to make sure you really understand everything that we'll be talking about today. Prime numbers. Prime numbers are numbers that only have two factors. Those two factors are the prime number itself and the number 1. As shown by the example below, 3 times 1 equals 3. We can see that 3 multiplied by 1 is itself. And there's nothing else that multiplies by anything that can get us to 3. Now, this may not seem important now, but an important tip to know for the future is that every even number after the number 2 is not a prime number. Composite number. Composite numbers are numbers that have more than two factors. 0 and 1 are the only exceptions, and they are not considered composite numbers or prime numbers. In an example below, 3 times 3 equals 9. We know that 9 times 1 equals 9, but we also know that 3 times 3 equals 9. And it having more factors than just itself and 1 makes 9 a composite number. For prime factors are factors that are prime numbers. And using a factor tree, we can figure out how many prime factors there are for a number and what those prime factors are. So for 20, we can start by using multiplication. 4 times 5 equals 20. We know that 4 is divisible by 2, so 2 is a prime factor. Not only that, but 5 is only divisible by 1, so we know that 5 is also a prime number. And again, we go to 20, and we see that there's 2 as a divisible again, so we know that 2 is a prime factor. And then we look at 10, 2 times 5. Both of those we've already decided are prime factors. That's a very easy way of looking at prime factors and using a number tree to figure out how many prime factors or what are prime factors of a certain number. Now, it's very important for the future, especially on the NGSA or whatever test you're taking, to know all the prime numbers that are below 100. This may seem like a daunting task, but it's very important and will help you in the long run. Example 1. This question was asked on the National Grade 6 Assessment Guide, and number 30. What is the sum of the prime numbers between 20 and 40? A, 104, B, 120, C, 141, or D, 159? For this example 1 solution, we know that 120 is the answer, B. Now, how did we find this? Well, as the tip that was shared earlier in this PowerPoint on slide 5, it's important to go ahead and memorize all prime numbers below the value 100. In this case, those values between 20 and 40 are 23, 29, 31, and 37, which all add up to 120. Now, this question's pretty hard. And let's say on test day, you forget what those prime numbers are. What's something you can do to help make sure you still get this question right? Well, again, as noted on the second slide, it's important to remember that any even number cannot be a prime number, as each even number is divisible by 2. So you can start by looking at odd numbers. Well, there's only 10 odd numbers between 20 and 40. So start going through and trying to figure out factor trees for those numbers. As soon as you can find a factor for a number, you know that it is not a prime number. This might take time, and it's not going to be the most efficient way. But let's say this is the last question you have on a section of the test, and you have some extra time at the end. Don't be afraid to double check your answers and make sure that those numbers aren't divisible by anything, just to make sure that they are prime numbers. Thank you so much for paying attention today and going through our PowerPoint. I hope this helps you in your studies. If you have any questions, please email us at carabedproject@gmail.com or message us on WhatsApp at +1 404 406 9638. Thank you so much for paying attention again. Hope you have a great day and good luck studying.